today, June 12th, June 12th of 2021. And I wanted to stop by and pour into you, into the Tailored for Success community. Again, I appreciate your time and your attention. I know that there are truly hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of different things that you could be watching, be engaged in, and you have chosen to be here with me. So I appreciate it and I respect it. Thank you so much. If you are enjoying this broadcast, please share it out on your favorite platform. You may be watching me on Haps, through the application Haps. You may be watching me on my Facebook business page for Tailored for You Enterprises, my business and organization. You may be watching it on YouTube. And we're going to add Twitch in just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and add Twitch as well. So you'll be able to find me on Twitch. And so please share it out. You know, sharing is caring. Let a friend know about Cherise Taylor and this broadcast entitled Tailored for Success. So let's talk about success in a from a particular perspective, and that is through networking and collaboration. And I recently had someone that I know on social media reach out to me and say, "Hey, let's join forces. Let's come together." And we have not, me and this particular person have not connected yet to see how that would look, or what the idea or the plan is, the vision is from that particular person. But it prompted me to talk about one of my favorite topics in life and in business, and it's that of community and unity. It's talking about the power of networking and of collaborating. You know, we first have to do self assessment. I'm really big on self work, because when you do the work on you, you're better able, better positioned, better equipped to connect with community. And so I think that first and foremost you have to um, get a hold of yourself and get knowledge and understanding about yourself, before you branch out and try to connect with other people. It's really important that you connect well with you. So that is first and foremost. We can talk about all of that at another time and place. But networking, I believe that networking, the the art and the practice of reaching out to other people, and not just reaching out, but connecting and building relationship with other people. That is how I define networking. And networking, I think of it more so in the sense of business, right, and career. And but it can lead to, other to personal friendships and mentorships and sponsorships and so many other things. So it can definitely lead to more. But establishing and building out a robust network, I believe, is something, a skill that we need to introduce and develop to our youth. I think as young as middle school, because we've all heard it's not in what you know, it's in who you know. So teaching our youth about the power of connection and the power of cultivating those connections and developing rapport and relationships with people. And with networking, one of the key things that you want to remember is that it should be a reciprocal relationship, meaning that, excuse me, I'm not just reaching out to you saying, "Hey, my name is Jimmy, gimme, gimme, gimme," with my hand out. Okay. I'm not doing that. I'm saying, "Hey, my name is Jimmy, and this is how I feel this is why I feel we should connect. And this is how I think I can be of value to you. And here's how I perceive you being of value to me. Can we talk about it? And just building that relationship. It's so important. It's really so important to do that. And a lot of times we're connecting with people, but we're not developing the rapport and the relationship. And that has to come from some effort. So it does no good to hand out a business card or catch yourself going to meetups or joining different organizations or groups, meeting people, greeting people, but not really connecting. And you have to be purpose driven when it comes to connecting and cultivating. You have to stay in touch, have to stay connected. Network, you've often heard, is a direct effect of your net worth. And so we don't want to allow holes to be in our net. As we are intricately building out our network, we have to keep each thread of it tight, as tight as we possibly can. And so that doesn't mean that you're sending birthday cards out to 80 million people or calling people or on coffee dates all the time. No one has time for that. But just what I call just, keeping the connection, just a quick message when you think of that person or they cross your mind or you happen to see their post online, just reaching out and saying, hey, just thinking about you, hoping all is well. Here is an interesting article that I found about whatever that person's into or something in the news. What are your thoughts on this? Just curious. Drop me a line or two. And it just is being mindful of who's in your network and staying connected. I'd like to invite you to this event. I'd like for you to be a special guest. Or I saw this, in my feed and it looks like something that you may be interested in, right? So different things like that. And we could go on and on and on about networking. But networking, again, I want to reiterate, is reaching out to people or responding when people reach out to you and building a connection, building rapport. Now, here's the thing, we don't need and we won't have a desire to be connected to everybody. Right? Because again, let me say this, and this is like the part that I don't hear a lot of people talk about when it comes to networking. Everyone's not going to be your cup of tea. Sometimes you're someone else's cup of tea, but they're not yours. So then we have a clashing. And if we have a clashing, we do not have a connection. And that's okay. What I learned in the seventh grade at the ripe old age of 13 years, what I learned at 12 and at 13 is that I'm not going to like everybody and everybody's not going to like me. I was going into junior high at the time, and it was a rough go. I went from the smaller nucleus of people that I'd been with for 7 years to now this larger group. And some people did. Sharice Taylor was not their thing, you know. And I all, kind of felt lost in the crowd. And so learned a lot of valuable lessons in junior high, as it was called, as I was coming through the 12 to 15 years of age group. And it's okay. That's one thing that we've got to understand is that it is okay if I don't like you. I don't have to like you. It's not a requirement to be here as a person on planet Earth. I do not have to like everybody. Have permission to not like everybody. It is about respect and appreciation, I think, for, respect and appreciation for everyone, compassion for everyone. But we're not all going to click, we're not all going to connect. So that happens in networking. Um, Sometimes it's just like, yeah, not vibing, not vibing. We're not. And like I said, sometimes the vibing is coming from one direction, but it's not coming back the other. And so that tends to happen, and it's okay. Let it go. Let it go and get on with the get on. So that's an important thing. And that leads me to the discussion of collaboration. I can tell you, especially in the last, probably the last 7 years, 7 or 8 years, um, there's just been there's been a lot of people uh, that reach out to me through a friend or through a family member or online. They catch the website or they see me on social media and they are interested in connecting. We've been connected, maybe, like I said, through a mutual friend, through a social media platform, and so on and so forth. And they see I'm very active on social media. And so, what I have found is because I'm very active in posting and sharing who I am, what I do, how I do it, why I do it, who I am both personally and professionally, people tend to feel a connection with me, which is great, which is what you want, because it's all about know, like, and trust when you're running a business of any kind and you're looking for sales and you're looking for prospective customers. It's about know, like, and trust. So you have to, especially in the area of business that I'm in, which is speaking and coaching and training. And so with that, I need to show up. I am the brand. Sharice Taylor is the brand. So if I hide behind a logo or hide behind stock photos and all of that, I'm not really connecting with my audience on as deep a level as I could. So I do put myself out there. And what I have found, again, over the past 8 years is because I do that, people tend to, they just, you know, either they're like, oh, she gets on my nerves or she's not my cup of tea, or wow, really am grooving Sharice Taylor. And let's take this to another level. And I've had proposals for um, uh, connecting and I'm sorry, collaborating, and it just wasn't my thing. I'm like, I don't, and sometimes people want to collaborate on a very deep level. Like, let's be business partners. Oh, I don't think so. Like, I don't know you at all. Like, and that's the thing, you guys. And that's why I reiterate it with networking, that um it has to be reciprocal. So a lot of times people are watching me and listening to me online over the course of, it could be weeks, months, years, and they're like, I'm vibing Sharice. I like where she's coming from. I like where her head is. And they want, but I'm like, but the problem is I don't know you from Adam or Eve. So, huh. It's, and it's so interesting because a lot of times I'll go to a person's profile and I'll see, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or um, uh, LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever. I'm active in quite a few places, but um, And one sidebar thing I want to say about that is that you want to be intentional about your activity online, because you don't want to spend an excessive amount of time online doing anything. All right, because you want to be really doing other aspects, other much needed aspects of your business. So it's funny because then I'll go and I'll say, well, let me see what I can learn about who they are. And nothing. Video, audio. I have a podcast, you guys. I share out my podcast. So, like I said, people get connected, and depending on how much um, they're in tune with me online, they may get to know me and what I'm about very quickly, and then they're like, "Oh, I want to collaborate. Let's be business partners. Let's join. Let's create a joint venture. I'll be a part of Tailored for You." And I'm like, "Oh, no, no, you won't. No, honey. Yeah, you come to know me, but I don't know you from Adam or Eve. Again, I don't know you any more than the man in the moon. I just don't. So that's not gonna pop off for me. Um, Now that kind of circles back into networking. They're cyclical, So they networking collaboration. They all kind of swipe around in this cyclical motion. When you network, when you're networking, again, there should be a pretty equal exchange, and it takes time. It takes time, just as it does with any other connection with a human being. It takes time to build rapport, relationship, and trust. So that's why I'm always like thrown off when people want to have these really deep uh, collaborative things go on. I had a very lovely, wonderful colleague in the coaching and speaking arena asked me, I guess this was a few years back, 2 or 3 years back, hey, I want you to be a speaker, a featured speaker on this tour that I am doing, and I'd like for you to be a host city, and being a host was like a very elaborate thing. It was like reserving a hotel space and just all types of things. And I did not know this woman from anything, but again, because I'm so active online, she felt like, yeah, you're a good fit for what I want to do. And I'm like, but you're not a good fit for me because I don't know you. So we mistake, and especially I want to say this. This has been my experience, especially in the Christian community and the Black Christian community. Like sometimes people will think, well, because I post and I openly share my faith in God and my walk, my faith walk. I share scripture and share different things about my walk with Christ, and so people are like, oh, she's a speaker, trainer, and a coach, and she's a Christian, and she's Black, and I'm Black too. So yeah, this should work right off the bat. Now, I am big, especially on the Black community, coming together, supporting each other. But when we're talking about partnership, we still we still have to be careful and conduct due diligence. Because you are Black, because you are Christian, because you are a woman, because you are a Black Christian man, because we both love Jesus, does not mean that we need to be business partners. Does not mean that I'm going to right out the gate, do something super elaborate, um, like sponsoring a tour stop. And that like takes me into a whole nother thing that I could rant about, but we'll save that for another time. Is staying in your lane and operating where you are. We want to, as business owners, we hopefully are continuing to grow and expand what we're doing and how we're doing, and the amount of people that we're reaching, perhaps, but that it comes steady and over time. So, yes, you want to stretch yourself, but you don't want to strain yourself. And you don't want to stretch beyond. You've got to get out of your comfort zone, but you've got to step by step. I always tell people, we did not come out of the womb, our mother's womb, running around the hospital room or the bedroom if maybe you were born with a midwife, whatever the situation. When you came out the womb, you did not take off doing sprints and ask for a Subway sandwich. Okay. It didn't go like that. And with your business, it don't go like that either. Now you can have, just as children do, you can have a growth spurt where you're like, whoa, stuff is excelling and going real. I'm going from this step to this step to this step really fast. That can definitely happen. You can have some developmental delays for whatever the reason. Everyone's growth, especially in business and or career, is going to take a different path, a different journey. But I digress. We can talk about that another time. But understanding that this is the other important key, because you may have common beliefs, you may be in the same profession, maybe from the same city, uh, you may be the same race or whatever socioeconomic class. You may have a lot of commonalities, but that doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to collaborate. So that's the other thing. You can network and be connected and have a connection to someone and maybe not have cause or a leading, I'll say a cause or a clearance to collaborate with that person. Yes, you are a part of my network, and I know that you build houses, or I know that you're in real estate, or I know that you're an accountant, or what have you, or whatever. Hopefully, your network is quite varied. That's really actually a good thing. Um, but that doesn't mean we're going to necessarily collaborate. It means that hopefully we build enough rapport, relationship, and trust that we're, as I'm getting to know what you're about over the course of time, perhaps when I have a need for an accountant or for legal help or for medical care or real estate or whatever it is that you're into, I will call on you, and I will also extend you to people in my circle of influence that may need your services and or products. So it's do you see what I'm talking about? Just because you're in my network doesn't mean we're going to necessarily collaborate. And I would say the number one thing in um, collaboration or in networking is to trust your gut. Like, your gut is speaking. I call it, as a woman of faith, the Holy Spirit is speaking and giving you guidance and instruct all the time. We just have to, you know, hold ourselves still long enough to hear from the Holy Spirit. But again, just because someone shares your same space, whether in entrepreneurship or in your career, they share your race, your religion, your gender, your whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be led to collaborate with them. I'll give you a couple of other examples before I go on here. Oh wow, it's already 6:20. It goes by so fast. Time goes by so fast. I'll give you another example. I had a gentleman who once wanted me to do a recommendation for one of his programs. And he saw my videos online and said, "You're so eloquent of speech and you seem comfortable in front of the camera. Could you do an endorsement for my program?" I sure cannot. Because number one, we're connected on this social media platform, but I don't know you well enough. We haven't developed a history together. I don't have a rapport with you or your work. And so, no, I definitely cannot do any kind of endorsement of your program. And like I said, I've had other people want me to do certain things. Um, and I just, I think as a business owner, as a child of God, first and foremost, as my parents, you know, daughter, and I have a responsibility for how Sharice Taylor shows up in the world. And I want my Savior, my Creator, to be proud. I want my parents, even to this day, and I'm a ripe 47 years young, but I still care. I will always care what my parents think about the things that I do. And so the Taylor name, the Taylor reputation is resting with everyone in my family who carries my father's name, and his father's name, and so on and so forth. So I am very careful about adding my name, adding my face, adding my voice, my presence, my personality to anyone's anything, because um, it's important that I think about that before, I just don't blatantly say yes to everything and everyone. Writing a review, during a voice recommendation. And you know what, you guys, in the past, I've done it for people and regretted doing it, to be perfectly honest, because I'm like, I've learned some stuff, you know, about you and how you get down, how you rock and roll. And I really would prefer my name and my face not be associated with you. Luckily, there was nothing ever severe, but the mistakes I made have made me, excuse me, more cautious about collaboration. We have to have relationship. We have to have rapport. And let me say this: it's just lessons learned that I'm sharing with you all. A couple of conversations and a couple of messages online do not a relationship or rapport make. Okay, I'm talking about over time. Now, I've met people where I click and connect, and I'm like, wow, we really seem to be getting along famously. That's one thing, and that's all fine and dandy as well. But yet and still, a couple of it takes time to really learn what somebody is about. It just does. And so, that's another powerful message and needed message to entrepreneurs. It takes time for people to take to you. You know, they're like, oh, I'm interested in what I came across Sharice Taylor, and she seems like she would be, a great speaker for our event, or but usually, let me tell you, when I get those invitations, I'll usually say, how did you hear about me, and why did you, what made you choose me? I've been watching you online for a while. That is usually the answer. I've been watching you online and listening to you online for a while. I went to your Facebook page, went to your YouTube channel. I did this, I did that. I saw what pages you. I mean, usually people are kind of stalking you, scoping you out a couple of different places before they decide to be bold enough to say, hey, will you speak at my event? Um, will you coach me? Will you come and train the people in our business or our organization, our group? So you have to keep that in mind. And that's why I tell entrepreneurs, if you're not showing up regularly, and also, this was a mistake I was making for a long time, showing up but not selling and saying, hey, here's here's the problem that I solve. Here's the group of people that I solve it for. If you're not pitching, um, sharing, whatever, marketing what it is that you do, um, oh well, so much for being online. Do I have six people watching me? Say something to me, six people. How are you? We're gonna wrap up because we're almost at 6:30 here. So we're gonna wrap this up and put a bow on it, as my brother Mark likes to say. I stole that from him. But hello, wherever you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Haps, and soon to be Twitch, Twitch. I've apparently forgot my password on Twitch, so I'll reset that and then I'll get Haps connected. And so we're looking at Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays here. And then on Tuesdays, you can find me live on Instagram, on the gram. Yeah. So, again, in closing, networking is about connecting to people, and it's about building rapport, relationship, right? And then trust, right? And so that's something that you want to keep in mind. And the networking relationship, it has to be reciprocal. You have to be giving and hopefully also receiving. So it should be, there should be a mutual desire to be connected. All right. Sometimes people approach me and I'm like, not the vibe's not there, boo. Hi, Takara. Hello from Columbus. Hi. So glad you found me and you're part of the Tailored for Success community. Hello, happy sensational Saturday to you. And so we have to be mindful of that because it can't be, and sometimes people's intentions are not right either. I had a gentleman. This was probably so when I first got my office. I don't have my office anymore. Let that go during COVID. But he found me on LinkedIn. He had been watching, because I'm always doing videos and posting and da 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 da. And what he wanted to do, you guys, I've been on LinkedIn since 2009. And I'm going to tell you, I could just write a book about the experiences that I've had on that platform alone. Okay. And he said, it was just, honey, it was just all messed up. And he said, this is what I do. I do this thing for youth and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds good. I have a heart. Yes. Oh, Takara. LinkedIn is a great place to be. If you are a career professional, business owner, of any kind, I think LinkedIn is the premier place to be, and I truly recommend people be there. As I said, I mean, I've been on there since 2009, so it for the 99% of the time that I've been there, it has been an awesome experience. But you always get a little trickle of folk who, mm, no. And he wanted to collaborate. And so first I was gonna have him come to my office, and then I said, no, I'm not gonna have him come to my office because my office was it was I had rented a space in a larger office, but during the time where I would be in the office, which was the evenings and weekends, was kind of ghost. And I said, no, I don't really know this man. And so I'm not gonna have him meet at the office. We're gonna meet at the local library. Okay. So I contacted him and I changed the plan. I said, we're not gonna meet at my office. Instead, we're gonna meet da 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 do da do. Okay. And he after that, he was really kind of offstandish. And he said, well, what happened to the office? And I said, no, I don't think we need to meet at the office. Because I'm thinking in my head, I don't know you. I'm meeting you at a very nice, big public place at a big round table in the middle of, with lookers on, okay? So, and then I said, and why don't you invite your wife to join us, right? Because we're collaborating, right? You're talking about some pretty big business things here. Bring wifey along, honey. That man disappeared so quick and fast. I mean, he was road runner, honey. And so that was the end of that. But I could go on and tell you all kinds of stories. But not just, like I said, the very lovely lady who reached out to me a few years ago to be a speaker. But and I don't have anything as a speaker. If it's the right opportunity, I have no problem with speak to or pay to speak. I don't. If it's the right. However, you guys, and I'm gonna wrap this up because I've gone over time. Some of us think that because we're on social media, we kind of get this head. Like I said, you don't go from kindergarten to graduating college in a matter of a year. Like it just there's a gap there. No matter if whether you like it or not, there is a gap. You may be a freshman in high school and wish you were a freshman in college, but you're going to have to go through the steps that it takes to get there. Some entrepreneurs, and this is total sidebar to today's topic, believe that they are able to do something that they have not equipped themselves properly yet to do. When you're coming out the gate as an entrepreneur, you have no business going on a 5 city tour to do anything. Okay? You're not Oprah yet. All right? And this is just real talk. It's like if you can't fill a 50-person room at the library, why are you going on tour? You're not there yet. Okay, just facts. All right, this is not to because I'm all about self-esteem, self-belief. Being your biggest cheerleader. I'm all about that all day, every day. But we've got to deal with reality and where we are right now. So if I'm just starting out as an entrepreneur, I'm not going to be trying to get sponsors in 5 cities to do what? You're not there yet. You're a baby. You're baby entrepreneur. Okay. So work on doing what you can with where you're at in the audience in the circle. You haven't done any marketing yet. You don't have your products and services together yet. We're not on tour yet. We're not doing the life class thing. Not yet. Okay? You're not there. See, I believe that Oprah, there's a lot of black female coaches, speakers, trainers, and consultants who look to Oprah as a role model. I do. I think she's awesome. You know, can you know leave some of her stuff to the side, but for the greater part, I look to her with great admiration and respect. Okay, but Oprah, even Oprah herself, did not come out the gate, you know, able to fill arenas of people. She was on local news, boo. All right. And she worked her way, and she worked it in every season, right? And grew to the phenomenon that she is today. But we don't just come out the gate doing the boogie dance. All right. So we have to be mindful of where we are and work where you are. No doubt about that. Work where you are, work with what you've got, work what you've got to the best of your ability, and go and grow from there, and keep building, right? So um and that's the same thing, just as we conclude with networking. It's like, if I just met you, it's like, okay, right, Takara, girl, if I say to Takara, this is my first time meeting Takara, I look at her profile, I'm like, okay, she seems like a nice person, she came to my live stream. Takara, can I hold $5,000 real quick? You enjoying the broadcast, right? Seem like a nice person. We vibing. Can I hold 5 grand? Hell no. No, you can't. Sharice, I don't know you like that. What you talking about? We just met today, boo. As long as I can hold 10. Right. You guys. Hello. 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 Okay. Mariah Carey said love takes time. All right. So you cannot, we did not come out of our mother's womb doing laps around the hospital room. We were crying, we were fragile, we couldn't crawl, we couldn't sit up, we couldn't walk, we couldn't talk. We grew over time, right? So when you're doing networking, you're networking with people, you build rapport and relationship and trust over the course of time. So when people come to me with these proposals that are like, I'm like, I'm sorry, do I know you? I don't think I know you. Like, well, we're both Christians, we're both black, you know, we're both from the Midwest. Come on. And I'm sorry. It's just like, it just doesn't go like that, my friends. So there is an art to networking, and definitely there is an art to collaboration. All right, you cannot have your name and your reputation tied to just anybody for the asking. Okay, we have to be prayerful, thoughtful, and really, you guys, your heart, your instinct, your spirit will guide you if you're just still enough to say, hmm. And I've said, some people who ask, can you be a part of this? Can you be a part of that? And they're part of great organizations. It's a great mission. It's they're doing great work, but I am not called. Sharice is not called to be connected to it. So it doesn't it's not about we're both black, we're both female, we're both from the Midwest, we're both whatever, whatever, whatever. That doesn't matter. What matters is are you supposed to be a part of my path? Are you supposed to be a part of my journey? And then to what degree? And so if it's like, in relationships, or you've heard those extreme examples, of like a guy will say, Sharice, God told me that I'm your husband. And I'm looking like, well, he didn't tell me diddly squat. So I don't I'm sorry. I don't know why he told you to tell me, but he ain't tell me nothing. So it's not gonna pop off, boo. So that's the thing. Again, reiterating that it has to be reciprocal. You have to be led. Okay. And last but not least, learn the art of saying no. 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 Okay. Learn the art of saying no. No. All right. It's okay. The person will not crumble or melt into the ground because you say no. You can say no. If you're not feeling it, say no. All right. That's all that I have for today. And so next week, you all, I'll have for those of you that are active on Twitch, to my understanding, is mainly like a gaming thing, but apparently speakers and trainers and consultants and coaches go on there. So I will link this to Twitch, and those of you that like Twitch, bam, your girl will be on Twitch. Oh, thank you, Takara. Thank you, dear. Yeah, so we'll be here Hump Day Haps Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Let's connect. Tailored for Success. Let's take it to the top together. Until next time, remember this: your best is yet to come. All right. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.